welcome back to this episode of Riding the Wall with your still undisputed tag team champions of the podcast world. And this week, like I said in the first podcast, I think was Tuesday, we doing a little something different this week. We're doing a two-parter because we were at Bristol.
Bristol deserves a 2-episode.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so.
I agree with that 100%. So for this episode, I'm going to get your thoughts on what you saw of the race. Well, I've already put out there what I saw and what I thought. I'm going to get your thoughts real quick on it and everything, and then we're going to go into story time. Yeah. And we have
special guest.
Yeah, Mama Jess is in the air quotes here studio.
Hello.
To give us her take on what it is to be at a NASCAR race with us.
It's something.
I mean, I've already told them we ended up half naked in the parking lot, liquored up. So they know that much.
Yeah, always.
Oh yeah, I mean that's standard day.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime there's race cars.
It comes with admission.
Yeah, it does. So
unless you're. No, never mind. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead and you finish that. So what did you think about the on-track stuff? What were your takeaways? Because normally we're watching it on TV. We don't get to see the whole track as it's going. Like I talked about LaJoy leading 48 laps. He was the most laps led of a non-Toyota driver. Toyota had the numbers.
LaJoy was impressive. He was.
Did pretty good.
Now
until Joey Slogano got in his way.
Right. Yeah. Slogano needs to either get it in gear or not. I mean, that surprised me, him being one of the drivers to lose out of the chase.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
I
not
was
the
not
championship
expecting
anymore.
that.
Him or Harvick. I mean, Harvick's kind of. I'm a big fan of Harvick, and a huge fan of Harvick. But I want to see him do well, especially in his last year.
Right.
So it's kind of sad to see him go out that early, but kind of expected to.
And he still has a chance to win, but not the playoffs or a championship.
Right.
No, but he still has a chance
to
win a race or two, and and he's one of them guys that could win anywhere. So
except dirt
or a road course. Yeah, but
I'll give you my first take on Bristol is I'm ready for NASCAR to bring some cars back that you can pass with.
Yeah.
There was a lot of fast cars. Larson was stupid fast. LaJoy was fast until
all the
he
Toyotas.
wasn't. And all the Toyotas were fast except Kyle Busch, who I picked in the fantasy league. Yeah, he's a Chevy.
He's a Chevy. I know that.
So
I figured you were going to say that's why he wasn't fast. But
yeah.
He needs to figure some stuff out, or I think he's going to be in these next 4 to fall out if he don't figure something out
he
pretty
very
quick.
Well could.
He might want to do it this week because it would suck to go to Talladega or the Roval needing to win.
Yeah. So I mean, it was an interesting race. Perfect day for a race. Perfect night for a race. I mean, it was nice weather, great company. I'm just ready to get back to seeing some cars that can pass.
Yeah, I want to see the Bristol of old. I mean, Bristol don't never put on a bad show, but at the same time, there just wasn't.
It gets stagnant.
Yes.
I
think so.
And if Mama Jess here wouldn't have been standing up taking her shirt off, there would have been no excitement at all for that race.
I know. I know it.
Had to keep you all awake.
So, what else? What else did you see? What else did you think? Any other takeaways that you had?
Not much.
Not much.
I was, impressed, but not happy about how fast Toyota was.
Yeah.
I was expecting to see more out of Brad and Busher, being the 2 fastest Fords all year, in my book.
I think I added it up. It was LaJoy led 48 laps, Larson led 20, and Busher led 1.
Right.
For like 69 laps. Everything else was Toyota.
Yep.
And it's
crazy.
I mean, I love paying my money to see a race at Bristol, but I hate it when there's a Toyota out front most of the time.
Yeah.
Kind of puts a damper on it. But it's still Bristol.
Yeah. So. But it's going to happen sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
That's what if we had the same 4 or 5 winners every week, it wouldn't be nearly as exciting, I guess.
Yeah.
But
I thought Ty Gibbs did a pretty good job, and I hate to admit that.
Well, another one of them Toyotas.
Yeah.
You know, got to keep Grandpa happy.
Grandpa Joe put him in a fast car. He was showing it off. So, good for him. Good for all of them. So, let's go to you. You got a flyover this time.
I did.
Her first flyover.
Her first flyover.
What'd you think about it?
It gave you cold chills.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
I tried to record it, but I was going through it looking yesterday at what I recorded down there.
Mm-hmm.
I missed the whole thing. I mean, I was aimed at the sky, but all you could see was a little side wing there as it kind of went by. I missed the whole damn plane.
Yeah, Mama Bert, it was their first NASCAR race, period. And they both talked about how cool that flyover was, you know. So
yeah, especially if you know it's coming and you're looking for it, it doesn't quite. I mean, it'll still put chills up your back. But if like you're into the anthem, you know, and all that, and then all of a sudden you just hear the noise and you look up and there's a plane right above you, that just even more, you know, excitement.
yeah,
And I thought that was pretty awesome.
yeah, kicks you right in the nuts and screams America at the same time. You know?
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly. I thought it was pretty cool with Michael Buffer.
Oh, that was
Oh, yeah,
awesome.
that
That was
cool.
awesome. I didn't know he was going to be there.
No, none of
you
us
know?
did.
Yeah, and then I seen that he was going to be saying, well, you know what he's going to be saying
Right.
because it's Michael Buffer, and I was like, holy crap, right there, that's worth the price of admission, just that. So I got that on tape. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I will say I think next time I think what we ought to try to do is based on prices, obviously, but I think we ought to try to get on the front stretch for the next time we go down there.
We can do that.
Just to see driver introductions and
Yeah.
you know, see the burnout at the end of the race, stuff
Yeah.
like that. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Oh,
To,
yeah.
but you know, I've never looked at ticket prices on the front stretch either,
No,
but
neither.
I think it'd be pretty cool, something to try out.
They're not bad. I think they're a little bit more than the back stretch, but nothing unreasonable. You
Right.
know. So, well, let's talk about what happened before the race.
All right.
It's story time. So what did you think, Jess, about everything, anything?
Everything.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't mean to cut you off, but don't take this girl to the moonshine booth. Holy crap.
Yeah, I didn't get to go, but I heard as soon as you got back, I heard.
Oh my gosh. She went to the moonshine booth. I was like, you want to try a shot or two of moonshine? You know, because it was all flavored moonshine out there. She's like, yeah, sure, I'll take some. So the girl behind the counter there was like, you know, step on up here. You want to try a couple? You want to try them all? She says, we'll try them all.
Well, I didn't know that meant so many.
Well, this girl had 15 jars of moonshine sitting out there on the counter in front of her. And I was like, holy crap, you want to try all these?
I thought she meant a select few, like she had 5 she was going to show us.
Yeah, or you could pick your flavor.
Yeah.
You know, she'll do 3 or 4 of them. No,
But
she
about
meant all 15.
8 or 9 deep.
Was it
like,
was it the Sugarlands moonshine or was it a different one?
It was
No,
a
it wasn't
different one.
Sugarlands. Sugarlands was in the main, just where it was
Yeah,
last year.
I'm just asking because I didn't know. I didn't
don't-
walk up there with you guys. So.
I don't remember the name of it.
Was it in the gravel to the left as soon as you went in?
Yes,
Okay,
over
I
in
seen that one too.
The
so.
Toyota area, yeah.
Yeah.
It was over there. I mean, it's pretty good moonshine.
Some of it was gross.
Yeah, depending on what flavor, you know.
They had biscuit and gravy flavored. That'd been
I
very
didn't
cool.
see any of that. They did have dill pickle. They had bread and butter
See, that
pickle.
don't sound good to
Pickles.
me.
Yeah.
It tasted just like pickle juice.
Right.
I mean, I couldn't really taste the alcohol in it. It was pickle juice.
It was probably one of the better ones was pickle juice.
Yeah, I mean,
they probably made a fortune just selling pickle juice down there.
probably.
Probably.
Probably. They, I mean, there was some of them that I thought would be good that was not. Like, I think cherry. I was expecting cherry flavored moonshine to taste decent. It
I was
didn't
looking
really.
forward to blackberry, and it was the worst one. I think.
Yeah,
Really?
it was not very good.
See, my guy that I talked to, his blackberry is fantastic.
Really?
Yeah.
I think because I had tried yours and then went and tried those that it just didn't measure up.
Yeah. We ended up not taking all 15 samples. We stopped when we started getting to mocha and
Yeah.
this stuff. I was like, nah, I don't want no more.
We didn't want jalapeno and mocha and,
Yeah.
and the clear ones. I
Yeah.
told her no thank you.
Yeah, she was.
But
she was
if
starting to
we
get worn
did,
out.
you know, the clear one would have been perfect for the next day.
True.
Right.
But we
Right.
also didn't have a whole lot of time just to sit there and enjoy it. So
Yeah. Yeah, we had to get in and get out.
Yeah.
That
Well, we
was
didn't have
probably
to,
my
but-
worst mistake of the day was the 10 shots of moonshine.
Well, I mean,
there are no mistakes in Bristol.
no,
No,
none.
let's just start there.
I agree with that. It just, I wouldn't say it was a mistake. It was just, you didn't realize that when you said you'd try all, it was all 15.
Mm-hmm.
But you took it like a champ.
I did.
You know.
I took them all. Your mom took about 5 of them, probably.
That surprised me. Yeah, she stepped up there and got about 4 or 5 shots.
She
out of it.
actually liked the butterscotch there at the campsite.
Now, see, I never seen her take a shot of it at the.
I think you were
campsite.
busy getting your ass handed to you by Sarah.
I
Yeah.
probably was.
Sarah was getting.
Well, okay, so let's get on that one because I know HR was just he is wanting to know how the weekend went with cornhole.
He's wanting an investigation, HR investigation done on this situation.
I want an investigation done on this situation because let me tell you, last year when we went and we played cornhole, we didn't get beat.
Nope.
We played I don't know how all day long. Everybody that came up and played, we won every game.
Right.
So we got cocky, right? So we're talking shit.
We've been bragging for
a year and
almost
a half.
a year. You know,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah, because it was last year at the spring race, and now we come here, and I'm thinking we ain't gonna get beat. I'm not gonna let that happen. And we were up there throwing around after we got parked and settled. You know, we started throwing the cornhole, and I was doing pretty good. I think we all were doing pretty good, decent. You know.
I was very inconsistent this year. I could get 4 on the board, one throw, and the next throw, get 3 off the board, and one would get on it and fall off.
Right.
You know, it's,
Yeah, and I was actually doing better than I thought I would.
you were doing better than me and Bert.
Because I mean, I was airmailing at least one bag every time I threw. So I'm thinking, oh yeah, I've got this. Well, and then we go walk around, and Mama gets me liquored up with the moonshine, and I come back, and I wasn't feeling bad. I wasn't under the influence by any means, but there was something going on with how I was feeling because I didn't feel sick. I didn't feel silly. I felt fine. I felt normal. But then you hung the banner to play us in cornhole and win a T-shirt, and there was a couple right next to us that just happened to park next to us. There was Dave and Sarah. Yes,
Yeah.
they were from I think they said Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Nice people.
Excellent people.
Yeah.
Friendly as could be, you know.
He's
We
hell
offered
of a
them
cook.
food.
Hell of a cook on that hibachi he had over there. Just
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
Chopping that
offered
shit
us
up.
some food. We offered them, you know, and it was like that all day. We just sat there and talked and whatnot, and he's seen the sign, and he's like, okay,
My wife wants one of them shirts.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I
he's-
talked to him for a second. I gave him a free koozie for being our neighbor. And he said, you got shirts over there? And I said, yeah, you can win one if you beat him at cornhole. And then that's when I got nervous because he stood up and said, I can do that right now.
Yeah, he was very anxious to do that,
Mhm.
and
I'm
nobody
starting
else.
to wonder if Dave is even a NASCAR fan. I think he may have just heard us on the podcast talking about cornhole, and
Yeah.
he showed up,
And he showed
bought
up
a
and-
ticket
And got a
just
shirt.
to come down there and beat our ass at cornhole.
Well, and I don't know what happened, but I know he stepped up there, and I heard him say, "Well, I'll do that right now." And he stepped up there, and I was waiting for Sarah to step up there with him, and we was gonna play teams, and that didn't happen. She was busy doing whatever she was doing, and he stepped up there, and I
1-on-1.
yeah, 1-on-1. So I asked you or Bert if you all wanted to play. No, you all didn't want to play, so I said, okay, I'll take you.
You
on.
got this.
Yeah, I got this because I was hitting pretty good just a little while ago, right? We stepped up there and Dave just waxed my ass.
Yeah, he
Just
did.
absolutely waxed my ass. And I didn't even have time to know what the hell was going on because I'm sitting there, because my first 3 bags didn't even make it to the board. And I was like, what in the world is going on? This was not happening earlier.
Right.
But you also called and said that somebody made us move,
Yeah,
and we
that
had to
w-
move the
that's gonna
boards.
be a
I think
different
that's
topic.
what
Yeah.
it was.
That's a
gonna-
whole topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're going to get to that one here soon. But, and so that's what I think it was. We had the boards got moved, and I wasn't hitting like I was earlier. I should have been. It's no excuse. I mean, Dave just stepped up there and was like, first 3 bags right in the hole.
Yeah, he was there. He was there
Jesus.
milling 3 out of 4, just about every throw.
Yeah, I mean,
And Sarah wasn't far behind him when she got up there to play too, because you played him 1-on-1, I played him 1-on-1. I think Bert did too, one of them, and all 3 of us, me, you, and Bert, all 3 lost. We didn't win a single game.
No.
That day.
No, nothing.
Unless it was against each other. Like, you beat Bert.
Yeah.
You beat me. You know. So
but then Dave came along.
And Dave and Sarah showed up, and us 3 never won another game.
No.
You know.
No.
So
and
Dave and Sarah are the cornhole champions until until next season.
I hope we can see them again next year. So, and if you're listening, Dave and Sarah, try to get back in that same parking spot, because that's usually where we're at. Come look for us. We need to play again.
We'll practice.
Yeah, I'm already starting to practice. You know, I'm measuring it out. I got the tape measure. I'm not saying I'm gonna beat Dave, because he was pretty daggone good. But I'm gonna represent better than what I did, because I didn't like that.
But you know, I was happy to get to meet them both. They're a very nice couple.
Oh yeah, I mean, even Sarah. I mean, she was nice as could be the whole time she was kicking my butt in cornhole.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
So it was. They got some shirts. They got some koozies. So that's great for them and great for us.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Yeah. So what all went on with that?
The ground crew needs to get their shit together at Bristol.
They do.
You know, I'll just start right there, because
Okay.
that started my day off bad.
Go ahead and roll this out. Should we start from the beginning?
So we rode into the parking lot first and second, like we do every year.
Yeah, 6 a.m.
Usually first, because we're in the same vehicle. This year is first and second. We had other people, so we took 2 vehicles. So trying to get our plans together on where to park, because we always park in the same area.
Well, we rolled in at 6 in the morning, like we normally do. And there's never been a problem. They hand us a ticket to put on our dash that shows that we paid for our parking, and we go on down there and we set up. Well, this year we rolled in at 6 a.m. and the guy was like, well, we're not taking any parking until 9.
That's the first.
Yeah, we didn't know that. So we told him, was like, sorry, man, you know, we just drove 6 hours and we didn't understand. We didn't know. And he was nice. He
and
said,
there was
I'll make
people
an
in the
exception.
grass lot this year, and that's been a first for us too.
Yeah.
You know.
So I mean, they were nice, and they let us on in. I really didn't know if they were going to do that, but they let us both on in, and then we're down there and we're trying to decide where we're going to park at, because there's lines on the grass now.
Right.
There's yellow lines and white lines. So we're trying to do the right thing and stay where we're supposed to stay.
But we've also got 2 vehicles. We got to have enough room to set up our canopy. We got to have enough room to throw our cornhole, set up our grill, you know, all this stuff. So we're trying to figure all this shit out on the fly. So we moved to a couple different spots, try them out. And Troy shows up.
Well, I walked up
But,
there because I wanted to make sure we're doing it right. I didn't want to set all this stuff up and then a half hour later somebody comes and says you got to move and take it all down and then we got to start all over. I didn't want that. So I walked up there.
But it still happened.
We're getting to that part. So we took the radios. I took one of them up there and I talked to somebody and I told him the situation and he's like, he didn't really know what to tell me. So he got this big boy named Troy.
Super nice guy.
Super nice guy. And so Troy was like, yeah, I'll ride down there and tell them, because they were going to tell you to move, because you had already moved over to a different spot.
He turned her. He didn't tell me to move.
So Troy jumps on this golf cart, and he's hauling down this little gravel hill. And I was getting ready to get on the golf cart with him to save me a walk, you know, because it felt like a half-mile walk, even though I could, you know, maybe throw a rock and hit you, but... So Troy takes off down the hill, and I'm stuck up there at the top of the hill, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to walk down there, you know. And I seen Troy get about halfway to you, and then he stops.
He thought, like, seeing me and Bert down there,
is that what
we figured, he was like, I ain't going to tell them by myself.
Right. Right. Because you're not a small guy.
No, and Bert's bigger than me.
And Bert's bigger than you. So. And he's got a train conductor hat on. You don't mess with people that wear a train conductor hat at Bristol. You know what I mean? So I start walking down there, and then Troy turns around. He comes back, and he picks me up. He said, I'm sorry. He said, I thought you had that radio on you. I thought you was a new guy, you know? I was like, hey, no big deal. Whatever, you know? So
jump on my lap. Get me right down there.
Well, he didn't say that. He almost did, but he didn't say that. But so we get back down there, and he starts telling us, "Oh, you're fine. You know, you can park right here and set up. No big deal. Nobody's gonna park."
But he told
you."
us to move from where we was at over in the overflow for the camping people upstairs, right?
Right.
So he told us we had to move back over there. So that's fine. Now we explained to him the situation, having two vehicles and everything we had to set up.
And we didn't want to tear it down and reset up.
Exactly.
We told him.
So we told him our whole situation. He was down there for about 20, 30 minutes with us.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
just chatting
And-
it up.
Right. So I told him, I said, you know, the line is right here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're telling me to park here. Is it okay to straddle that line with my truck? Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. Go ahead. Well, we don't want to move because there's no road. There wasn't a road there in front of us.
Right.
So straddling it shouldn't have been a problem. So we get set up just like we were told was okay. Everything's fine. Get all our shit done. I stay at the campsite, so everything's got an eye on it. And you guys and your mom and dad and mom and Bert all walk up to check shit out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, about 30 minutes goes by and this guy shows up, a different person from the grounds crew, and says, "Hey, you gotta move."
Did he have the red beard?
He had a beard, but it wasn't the same one that you're thinking of.
Okay.
He had like a strawberry blonde. It wasn't the same one, but they were pretty close because I thought it was him at first.
That might be the guy that I talked to initially up there.
And he said, "Hey, your truck. You know, I've had 3 people come up there and complain that they can't get out." I said, "There ain't no fucking road there."
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he's like, "Well, you can't be over the line like that." And I said, "Well, Troy told me it was okay to park here." And he said, "Well, I'm not going to get into all that, just in case they listen." So basically, it turned into
So it was a back and forth. Huh?
Right, it was a back and forth.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, I'm not cool moving. He said, "Well, you're going to have to move, but I'll help you move everything," because it was a lot of shit to move.
Mm-hmm.
And he did. He helped me move it, and that's, you know, I'm not happy by this point.
Right, because
I'm
you're
not-
the only one down there.
Right, but even more so, I'm not happy that one guy on the team says, "Hey, you're fine," and another guy on the team comes in there and says, "No, you're not."
Right.
So get your shit together.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't like the lines this year. It seemed everybody parked well without lines.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, so that was kind of where I was at. But anywho, we got everything moved, everything resituated, and 20 minutes after get everything moved, some punk ass comes and pulls a little Prius in there and blocks the road right where I moved from. So I was like, now I'm just looking for anybody on the grounds crew. I'm like, hey, you know, these motherfuckers need to move their shit.
Yeah.
You know, get this electric thing out of here if you're going to make me move, you know.
We should have just picked it up and carried it over by
I
the
thought
creek.
about pushing it. But,
Probably should have. I think we could have moved that car
Probably could have.
ourselves.
but anywho, it was just one of the things that it didn't seem like the grounds crew had their shit together like they usually do. I don't know if they had a bunch of new people or what, but very disappointed with the way the whole grounds crew thing worked out.
Yeah.
I mean, usually every year we go, it's from the time we pull in, everything's rosy. It's great.
Mhm.
This year is a lot of work.
Yeah.
A lot of back and forth. So.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they obviously wasn't keeping a very close eye on it during the race because when we left,
Oh, that's a whole nother story
Right.
right
Yeah.
there.
so I mean, there's a whole nother mess when we leave, you know, being blocked in and everything else. So I mean, everyone on the grounds crew we did talk to talked about how they patrol the area while the race is going on.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously that didn't happen. So
Yeah. Yeah, because when we came out of the race, there was a car, or I think it was a truck or something, in front of us that we had parked right behind to make it, you know, too wide. That way there was a road in front of them, and then there was a road behind us, so
Right.
people could access. And it was great. Well, then I come out, and then there's this big F-350 dually or something like that, backed all the way up to my back bumper. I could not open the hatch of our SUV because it was so close. And we left a little bit early, like 20 laps to go or something when we left. I mean, it was obvious, unless something major happened, it was going to finish like we were watching. But the fireworks were going off as we were getting to the car, and I'm looking at this thinking, how in the hell am I going to get out of here? Because I don't want to. I left early because I don't want to get caught up in that 3-hour trip up the mountain and back down. Because we've been in that before and it sucks.
Yeah.
But right then at that moment, that mountain was empty. I could shoot right up that mountain and be gone. No, not with everybody blocking me in like that. Especially as close as they were. I think if we were by ourselves, we'd have been waiting on that truck to
Probably
come back.
would have been.
Whoever backed that truck in there, we'd have been having a conversation. It wouldn't have been pretty. So, there's that.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's how our night ended. We did get to, usually every year we go down there, we try to walk up front before the race starts, hours before the race, and see who all we get to see.
Yeah.
And I seen Chase Elliott up there on the stage doing his interview with them and everything like that. Just kept on walking because it's not like he's in the championship, so ain't much there to hear. But did you guys get to see anybody when you walked up there?
We seen Larson.
No,
not Larson.
We
Who
seen
was
Chase Elliott. We were standing there for the Chase Elliott interview. It was Kenny Irwin and somebody was talking to him. Or not Kenny Irwin, I'm sorry. It was Kenny Wallace.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said Kenny Irwin. Kenny Wallace and somebody else was interviewing Chase. And then when he left, it was Ty Gibbs and I think, was it Denny?
Yes, Denny Hamlin.
Denny Hamlin and Ty Gibbs came out.
That's who I was thinking of. We seen Denny Hamlin.
After Chase. I forget who was up there before Chase. I don't know.
I know after all the...
Austin Dillon.
Yeah, that's right. I know it was before... It was
Stenhouse.
It was after the drivers come out on the stage to the Bristol crowd and do their interviews and stuff like that. Like last year or 2 years ago, we seen Joey Logano in his racing suit coming through the crowd because it was right before the race. Well, just like that, we try to walk up there and see who we can catch right before the race and get some thoughts and throw a few questions at them for our podcast. And this year was a first. We didn't get to meet Bubba Wallace, but we did get to have some interaction with the 23XI racing team, and that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, nice people.
Right, really nice. I mean, they've improved a lot this year, and one thing that we had talked to them about, which I don't know if one of them or all of them or what listened to the podcast, but we told them about our HR.
Yeah, I was a big fan.
Right, of 23XI Racing.
And Bubba Wallace.
Oh,
yeah. He's Bubba's biggest fan.
But, it's no secret that when you go to these races that's not the most popular team there. You know? So they were very happy and excited to hear that they had a big fan.
Mm-hmm.
So, that was pretty cool getting to talk to them about that.
Yeah. Yeah, they talked a lot longer than I thought they would.
Yeah. They asked our HR's name.
Yeah.
You told them?
Yeah. I gave him his
Scotty.
name. Told him he's been a big Bubba fan for a few years now. Just kind of answered their questions, and, they've asked us a few questions, and we just kind of went back and forth with them for a little bit. But, yeah, they were nice people. I think...
it'd been cool if HR could go...
Yeah.
And
he
see
would
those.
Love that.
Yeah, see those and get to have those interactions with them, and it'd be. He probably, as big as a fan as he is, he probably could have got some merch, because they were pretty.
They're pretty lenient with it.
Pretty lenient and excited to hear that.
Yeah.
They don't hear that a lot, that they got fans like that. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's.
I mean, you could throw a rock and hit a Chase Elliott fan, and I think you did.
I threw cornhole bags against a couple of Chase Elliott fans, and they kicked my butt.
Kyle Larson fans are everywhere. Chase Elliott fans, Kevin Harvick fans, Truex fans, but the 23XI team was happy to hear that they had a huge fan.
And they were out there kind of showing off some merch and passing out some free things here and there. Over in that Toyota section. But Yeah, if I wish HR could have been there to see that and talk to him, because I think they would have treated him pretty good considering he's such a fan
Right.
like he is. But Mama, what you got? What? Give us a story that you have. I want to hear
Well,
your stories.
My stories. Well, at the actual race, I really got into the driver introductions more than I thought I would. And seeing Harvick up there with his daughter, and then you could tell that he almost choked up as he was leaving the stage. That got to me. Like, it made me shed a tear or two for him, and I don't even know anything about him. So just being in that atmosphere, you just envelop it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you spend, and you can kind of put yourself in his shoes. I mean, this guy's dedicated his whole life to this. His wife comes from a racing family. Richard Childress's daughter. I mean, how much more of a racing family can you marry into?
Yeah.
So, I mean, this atmosphere has been his whole life, and then he's got kids in this atmosphere as well, and he's basically taking his last walk at Bristol.
Yeah.
I mean, the track of all tracks. I mean, that would be emotional.
And he's pretty good there. Normally.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't this time, but
Except
normally.
on dirt.
Yeah, except on there. Yeah.
And
I would love to do that again, just to listen to the Kevin Harvick radio while he's racing on dirt.
Right. And there's not going to be dirt there next year.
Right.
And we've all learned.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that's probably for the better.
Yeah, I think they need to just go to Eldora if they're going to do dirt.
Mm-hmm. Just get an actual dirt track and run it.
I'm sure Tony will give you a deal. You know what I'm
sure
saying?
he will. Yeah. I think that would be exciting to see, see these
And
guys.
something sad too, we learned, and Truex didn't seem to have a very good night
right.
at Bristol. And I mean, usually he's a top performer about anywhere you go. And surprisingly, I mean, Jess is a Truex fan. My mom's a Truex fan.
I wonder why that is. Why is that? Why are you such a Truex fan while
Something
you're here?
about that beard, I think.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
That'll get him.
Yeah, every time.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, he wasn't running up front, and it seemed just like he was having an off night. You're not used to seeing him have that kind of night at Bristol. And then it was learned Sunday morning that his longtime girlfriend of 18 years, Sherry Pollock, passed away from her cancer.
Now, I seen that story on the NASCAR.com. I did not realize that was his girlfriend.
Yeah.
I didn't put that puzzle together.
Yeah. Yeah, she was at every race. I mean, they broke up back in January, and it was an amicable split. They both supported each other in their causes. They were still friends, but I mean, to be together for 18 years, they never got married. But she was with him at all these races. He had the Martin Truex Foundation with the pediatric cancer, the kids, and she headed all that up for him, and she ran all that for him, and just kind of a power couple in NASCAR. And both of them, I mean, I never met them, but just from being in the atmosphere and being a fan as long as I have been, they both seem like really good people.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it in January when they announced they split. But then, I mean, she's been in remission a couple times, and that was the last I heard was she was in remission, and then find out Sunday morning she passed away. It was a kind of a gut punch, and it kind of made sense of why he wasn't having a good night,
Yeah.
I mean, even if somebody had a bad split, which they didn't, that's 18 years that he spent with somebody that just passed away.
Yeah.
So,
it's gonna weigh on you.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then dumbass Danica. I don't know if you guys seen those headlines or not, but
I seen that she made comments, but I don't know what the comments were.
Martin put out a statement on social media, and it was basically like it wasn't a real emotional statement. It was
Standard.
just kind of standard, but I think he was probably still processing everything and hadn't talked to a lot of people he needed to talk to about things yet, and probably didn't want to overstep and sound like, because they did split in January, probably didn't want to overstep and make it sound like they were still so much in love or something like that. He was probably dealing with his own things.
Right.
But it was a pretty standard message that he put out. And Danica fired out, this is why I couldn't stand him. I'm glad you're free from this poison now, Sherry, and just things like that. I'm not quoting it 100%, but it was I think it started with, this is one of the most distant and cold statements somebody could put out. And I mean, it was just a really shitty thing to say, in my eyes.
Yeah.
And to me, if you want to say something like that to the man's face, you have all rights, but you don't have to reply to his.
It's not her place
statement.
to reply to anything.
She
really.
wasn't there. She knew about the 18 years that they were together, but she wasn't there in that relationship. It wasn't none of her business. Mm-hmm. There could have been a million things that went on that she don't know about. I mean, and she obviously hadn't talked to him yet. But at the end of it, it was like, this is exactly why I never liked him. And it was, to me, it was a low blow in somebody's low part, in their low period of their life,
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
And where is she right now?
Right.
How many career wins does she have?
Right.
Yeah. She ain't.
How many contracts does she have?
She ain't nobody to talk.
Right.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I never was a Danica fan. I always thought Danica was there just to sell merch.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was the only reason she was there. That was her moneymaker.
Yeah. If she would have been a male in that sport, she'd have been out a long time before.
Yeah.
She was.
Yeah.
Period.
True. And you got Hailie Deegan coming up. I hope Hailie Deegan is not another Danica 2.0. I think, and Danica's got skill in like the IndyCar. I mean, she did pretty good in IndyCar.
I mean, when did she get?
I think she got a couple, one or two. I know of at least one. One. I think she got a couple, but I know of she got one. So there's that.
Was it a rain delay?
Probably. But
I think Hailey's going to come in and do a lot better than Danica did. I'll just say that right off top.
Yeah, and I've been watching. I've been taking note of Hailie Deegan since she was in the I don't know, what do you call them, the trucks, the like motocross, supercross or whatever, the Baja trucks. Yes, she's been in that. I took note of her driving, and she was damn good in those, and she was probably a teenager, early teens, kicking ass in those. So, I've been kind of watching her change over to actual racing, or stock car racing, I should say, not actual racing, and I think she just needs to get an opportunity outside of the trucks, because she started one race last year in Xfinity. I think she finished 7th or 13th, something like that, which is better than most of her starts in the trucks. So
it'd be interesting to see, and it seems like she's got that fire in her belly to want to do good.
I think she wants to shut up a lot of critics.
To me, that's what Danica was always missing.
Yeah,
Danica
she just wanted to punch somebody in the face.
Danica was okay going out there and causing a big wreck and making laps.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I think Hailey's got that passion to grab that flag at the end of the race.
Yeah, and I would like to see that.
Yeah.
I mean, because I don't think she's the kind of person that's going to go out there and piss people off with her mouth, like Danica did.
And has for a long time.
Yeah, so hopefully she does all right, but we'll see.
So, you got anything else to say about Saturday night, as far as stories go? Anything else to touch on?
I was impressed with how much your dad was purchasing things from the Hendrick trailer. Like he was in heaven.
He went crazy up there.
Did he?
Every time we walked away, he went back and got something else.
I think he probably got 4 or 5 shirts.
Yeah. I know he got 2 hats.
Yeah.
Like he was like a kid in a candy store, and I was happy to see that.
But that was his first NASCAR race too.
Oh,
right?
It was watching my mom and dad was fun, because it was their first NASCAR race. I don't think my mom's ever been to a race bigger than Brownstown, I mean,
right.
She's been to many, many, many tracks in her life, but she's never been to a Bristol, a Bristol night race. That's almost as big as it gets, So to see her walking around and being, smiling and happy, and
Just see
Yeah,
that
just-
atmosphere.
seeing her have that joy, and Dad is right there with her, just smiling, laughing, having fun. Hey, let's go get this. He's as soon as he walks away from the Hendrick trailer, he's like, oh, I see that T-shirt, and he gets right back in line. He wants to pick up that T-shirt too, because he's a Larson fan. My brother's a Larson fan, so he was cleaning out the Hendrick trailer of most of the Larson merchandise. But
I was glad that Jim and Kathy got to go too. I could tell they were having a good time, and Mom always said kind of the same thing, that Bristol was a bucket list.
What did she think of it after she come back? She
loved it.
Yeah.
She loved it.
She ready to go back?
Probably. Probably.
As soon as we pulled back in the driveway, my dad says, "So when are we going to Talladega?"
Right.
Yeah.
I said, "Be careful what you wish for, because it might be sooner than you think."
Right. It is in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
At the time.
But he's already looking at RVs.
Yeah, he went RV shopping just for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's ready to load us up in an RV and just head down and sit in the infield of Talladega for a few days. So I told him,
And I could tell. I mean, he was having a good time because his energy level. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? That was pretty great.
And which was pretty good, because when we went to bed Saturday night, I think we figured up we had been up for 42 hours straight. And they were hanging with us. They were doing pretty good.
Yeah, they were doing pretty good.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
liked the next day when we were at the hotel, just sitting out there in the courtyard of that hotel, just looking at the scenery of East Tennessee, and the morning coffee and all that went with it, just the whole everything wrapped into one. He was just having a good time, just enjoying himself, and the peacefulness of the moment, and all that was fun. It's good to see. I liked all of us just sitting out there just cutting it up. And I told him, I said, before we ever got down there, they had never met Bert, and Bert can be the wildest one of the bunch.
I've seen it.
Oh yeah. And if you tell him he's not, he's going to prove you wrong. But
I've had to pick his big ass up and put him in a car before.
shoot.
Yeah, and get him in the passenger seat.
How tall is Bert? About 6'6"?
Yeah, probably 6'5", 6'6".
He's a big old boy.
He ain't a
He
skinny,
ain't skinny
6'5"
either.
either.
Right. He's just an old country boy,
Yeah.
But and I told him, I said, now when you meet Bert, be prepared for anything, because this guy will say anything. He will do anything. He might start dancing just out of nowhere. So be prepared. Don't be surprised at what you see or hear from this man.
Yeah, can't be sensitive around him.
No, you can't be sensitive. But I know when right before the race, shortly before the race started,
Yeah.
you all were at I think it was just a merchandise trailer.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
we were
Just-
getting a LaJoy t-shirt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I seen a LaJoy shirt and I said, I gotta have that Corey LaJoy shirt.
You did need one.
I did. And I'm happy I bought it. But you and Bert stepped up to the trailer.
Because they were on sale. You buy 2 for $50 or it was something. So we were making a deal between us.
Mm-hmm. And you were getting the LaJoy shirt, and he was getting I think it was just a Chevrolet shirt.
Chevy 350 engine.
Yeah, it had an engine on it, and it had some words and numbers and stuff like that. And I don't know what all it had on it, but I know the next day when we were at the hotel, just standing there in the courtyard talking, your mom asked him, "Why did you get a Bubba Wallace shirt?" And he was like, "What? What are you talking about?" She said, "That Bubba Wallace shirt that you got. Why did you get a Bubba Wallace shirt?" Because Bert is not a Bubba Wallace fan.
No.
Not at all.
No. Because it's Toyota.
Right. And he was just upset because he thought he thought that the guy in the merchandise trailer gave him a Bubba Wallace shirt instead of the Chevy engine shirt that he got.
Chevy 350 shirt, yeah.
Yeah. So he was upset. He was distraught, which that's going to lead us to another story here in just a second. But so we had to go, when we checked out, first thing we had to do was check on this shirt.
Still in the plastic wrap. But
Oh,
there
yeah.
was orange numbers on
Yeah.
it. It
Lou
was-
had me convinced it was Bubba Wallace.
it was-
Yeah, she swore she saw a 2-3 on the
It
shirt.
was an orange 3-2. It was 632 was the numbers on it, and she seen that orange 3-2 and probably just thought 2-3 because
Yeah.
I mean
Yeah.
Bubba runs an orange number a lot. You know?
Mm-hmm. And she had him convinced it was a Bubba Wallace shirt, and he was just getting so mad that when we left the hotel, we had to get into that bag to see what that shirt was before we could leave.
Yeah,
Because
it was still in our car.
I'm pretty sure that Bert was going to go back and find that guy
Well,
at the merchandise
we
stand.
we were driving by there anyway when we left the
All right.
hotel. So
Yeah, so we left the hotel and we stayed in Kingsport. I don't remember which hotel it was. It was a nice hotel.
Marriott.
Meadow View or something.
Marriott.
Marriott.
Yeah, right by a golf course.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty nice hotel. But after we left the hotel, we thought, well, we got to go back to the Greek restaurant because that's just tradition, and you don't mess with tradition, right?
Right.
So we wasn't able to make it on race day, just because we need a golf cart to get over there, because it's like a mile away from the track. It doesn't seem like that. You know, the first time we went, it felt like it was walking distance, but it's about a mile from the track.
Yeah, and once you park and get set up, you don't want to get your own vehicle out
Right.
again
Right.
to
Yeah.
do all that. So
So we just went back the next day, and we took. Jess, you ate with us there last year,
Mm-hmm.
but my mom and dad, your mom and Bert, had never been there before, so we wanted them to try it, and it was great. The
It's
food was
great.
always
we've
great.
we've never had a bad experience there.
The waitress was incredible.
It's called
you
Mad
know.
Greek.
Yes,
Yeah.
Mad Greek, and that's where we're going to eat all the time, either on race day or the day after. You know, one of the two. We're always going to stop in there. So we get there, we eat, and you know, we got a table, got 7 people there. We're trying all kinds of different stuff. We're eating what we want to eat, and then we get ready to leave, and Bert has to use the restroom.
And I had just come out of the restroom, and the ladies' room was very nice. I was thinking this is one of the best bathrooms I've been in.
Mm-hmm. What happened after that? You go ahead and you tell this story.
Well, I got back to the table, and Bert was coming out of the bathroom, and he looked distraught and like he had seen things that he will never forget.
And it takes a lot to
Yeah.
distraught Bert.
Bert's seen a lot of things in his day.
He just looked up at me and said, "That is the worst bathroom I've ever seen in my life." And I said, "Mine was amazing." So he had not yet told me what the things he had seen at that point.
Okay.
I'll let you go from there.
Oh, well, I'm sitting at the table. I never went to the restroom, so
Yeah,
I
I
don't
didn't
know.
either.
I've never been in that restroom, so I can't validate if it's bad or good. But the whole restaurant's good, so I'm thinking, what in the world could be so bad with this bathroom? And Bert sits down, and
The smells,
you got to know Bert, but Bert's never for a loss of words, you know, and he's always one of the most outgoing people you're ever going to meet. But he sat down, put his hands on his head, and it's like he's thinking. He started stuttering, and I thought, it's bad when Bert starts stuttering, because
he's traumatized.
yeah, he was. He said, you're not going to believe this. And somebody asked him, what? That bathroom is just, it's bad. Why? Why is it so bad? And like Jess said, she said, well, that was the nicest bathroom I've ever seen.
The smells.
You ain't
the
gonna
flies.
believe what I saw in there. Now I'm interested.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
If he has never seen it before,
right.
it's gonna be pretty awesome.
It's got to be a story, right? So he's sitting there and he's shaking his head. Somebody, I ain't kidding you. And he's looking at us all in the eyes. I ain't kidding you. He puts his hands out there and he says, somebody, I'm telling you what, somebody took a dump right in the urinal.
No, he said so much shit.
Shit.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, somebody took a shit right in the urinal. And I started laughing because, I mean, I've seen that a time or two in school or whatnot because, you know, we went to school with yahoos. But, I mean, I've seen that a time or two in my life, and it raises many questions. But Bert was just sitting there contemplating life at that moment, you know?
Yeah.
Because apparently he has never seen a loaf in the urinal. And he did. And it traumatized him, and it was obvious.
Well, that was the first thing he talked about was how bad the smell was, you know,
Yeah.
and obviously the smell's going to be bad when that loaf
Right.
ain't sitting in the water. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
It traumatized him, and I thought he's seen everything. But apparently we found that line, you know, because Bert he's good with just about everything. He's very easy going with everything, but apparently, and like we've discussed on the ride home, apparently we found that line with Bert. You take a dump in the urinal, it's over.
It's over.
Game over. He ain't having none
Yeah,
of
you
that.
got some fucking problems.
Yeah. So after we go to the Greek restaurant, I thought, okay, now we're going to go where I was going to take you. And I gave you a few clues.
Yeah, this was a nice surprise that you guys come up with.
I gave you a few clues of bagpipes, moonshine, and music. And so we went, and I'm not going to give details on this place. I mean, there's information on the internet. If you want to go there, you do your own research and find it and all that. But we went to Copperhead Road.
The original.
The original from the Steve Earle song Copperhead Road. Okay.
And every real outlaw / redneck hillbilly knows Copperhead Road.
Yes.
If you don't, you need to step up your game.
Yes. You need
because you
definitely
can't get any one of the 3 titles till you do.
Right. And if you've never heard the song, Google it, listen to it. It's a pretty damn cool song. It's on my playlist.
And it's a true story.
And it's a true story. It's in Johnson County, Tennessee. You know, they went to the Mason Lodge and bought the auction.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Johnson County Sheriff painted on the side of the car. All that. It's a real place. Copperhead Road is a real place. Although you may not be able to find it very easy.
There is no road signs.
They keep stealing them too.
Yeah, they changed the name of it because people kept stealing the signs. And I did see the documentary as well.
Mm-hmm. And I was looking for mailboxes because one of the documentaries or something that I've seen showed quite a few mailboxes on that road still said, you know, it had the house number and it said Copperhead Road. I only seen one mailbox on that road that said Copperhead Road,
right.
And it was halfway covered with vines. So it was tough to see. There's no road signs. You won't know. If you're on it, you won't know it.
Right.
Because there's no way of knowing that
and
you're on it.
And I will tell you this, too. You have to spend about 3 hours of your day driving around a lake to
the
get
big
to
lake, yeah.
That lake was beautiful.
It was. I wanted to fish it.
Oh yeah, I could spend a week on that lake at least, you know, because it was a big, beautiful lake.
I wouldn't want a tube on it though, because there was a lot of trees sticking up in the water.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that.
But fishing it all week long, baby.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
because you know there's some big ones in that
so lake. This road is only actually 2 miles long.
Is that how long it was? It didn't feel like 2 miles.
I didn't think
it felt
so
like
either.
half a mile.
Right, but it was 2 miles. It's a 2 mile road. So we get to the end of it, and when we pull onto the road, you know, Chad, Jess, and his parents are in one vehicle. Me and my mom and stepdad are in another vehicle behind them. And he radios to me, "We're on Copperhead Road now." So we enjoy it, you know, and just take our time cruising down this road. And it's a different feeling when you know you're on it. You know, it's a cool deal. So I didn't know how long the road was when we pulled onto it, but we get to the end of it, we come up to a highway, and I radioed up to you, if you remember, and I said, "Hey, is this it?" He's like, "Yep." I was like, "Well, I was wanting to do something. We need to turn around." So I backed into this.
And I told you, I said, I'm going to let you take the lead,
right.
So that way you can pick your spot.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there ain't nowhere to pull off on this road.
No.
I mean, you don't pull into somebody's driveway on this road.
No.
Because
you never come back from Copperhead Road.
Well, the law don't. The law don't.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But you don't pull into somebody's driveway either. I'm smart enough to know that.
Not in the mountains of East Tennessee.
Right.
Not
Not down there. You don't do that.
Right.
You know, and that's another good reason you don't take pictures of their mailboxes. You don't do that kind of stuff out of respect and privacy.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, believe me, if you want to take a chance and do something like that and bullets start flying, 911 isn't around the corner.
No. There's no cell service on that road whatsoever.
No.
Right. So I mean, you're on your own. So I back into this half mud, half clay, half rock driveway. And you guys turn around and come back, and we head back down the opposite way we came.
Mm-hmm.
And about halfway down it, I think I got to a place to where we was right in between the mountains. There was no driveways close. There was no bullshit around us, nothing like that. So we just stop in the road,
Mm-hmm.
and
That made my dad nervous.
Did it?
Be careful, don't pull off too much. There's a creek right over here. It's like, I'm all right, Dad. I got it. We're
Well,
good.
Bert said the same thing. I was like, "You want to get out and join us?" He's like, "No, I'm all right." And Mom's like, "There's got to be copperheads out here, Justin. If it's called Copperhead Road."
I noticed that none of the, you know.
Right. So I'm
None
like,
of the folks got
No,
out.
they never got out.
so me, you, and Jess get out,
Mm-hmm.
and what I wanted to do on Copperhead Road is because what made the song famous was, back in this time, moonshining made this road famous.
Right.
So, and some other things in verse 2 and verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
So, like anybody that knows me, anytime I take my big cooler somewhere, I've usually got a couple jars in it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to stop and I wanted to take a couple swigs of my clear moonshine on the real deal Copperhead Road. Because how many people could say they've done that,
Exactly. Exactly.
So you and I and Jess, we get out. Jess takes our pictures. We're drinking moonshine on Copperhead Road in the middle of the day. And
Yeah.
I mean,
Awesome.
yeah,
That's a story. You
Right.
know, I mean, how many people in the world can say they've done that?
right.
That's cool as hell.
A lot of people that probably ain't alive anymore.
Yeah.
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 But-
I mean, unless you live on or near,
Right.
maybe they have, but I mean, we're 5-6 out, probably 6 hours away
Easy
from
6 hours, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was cool. That was something that last time we were down in that area, we didn't even know it was there. We didn't know it was a real place, and then I find out that it was real. So I was like, well, next time we're down there, we're going to Copperhead Road just to say we've been on Copperhead Road.
Right.
And then you added to it with the moonshine. I was like,
I mean,
hell
it's
yeah,
icing
I
on
mean,
the cake right there.
yeah, So that was great. But yeah, we do have pictures of that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll
They're
probably
good pictures.
We'll probably post that. There ain't no house numbers or.
I mean,
anything
I
like
think we
that.
deserve a NASCAR ride after that. Because where did NASCAR come from?
Moonshine.
Moonshine.
So,
Yeah.
how many up and coming people in the NASCAR world can say, "Hey, I've drove and drank moonshine on Copperhead Road"?
We didn't do it at the same time.
No,
Wasn't at the same
we
time.
got out.
Yeah. I think
You gotta catch me in the act if you're gonna arrest me. So I'll say it.
Right.
You know.
I think everybody in the cars while we were getting that out of the cooler was nervous as hell. They had to be nervous as hell.
I'm sure of it.
I mean, they were looking both ways for police or shotguns or something.
Yeah, people in the area. I mean,
Locals.
right. So I mean, it's. But I think us being us. I mean, we'd probably had some guns pulled on us by the locals, but we'd probably been sharing that jar.
Oh yeah, we'd have made friends.
2 minutes into the conversation.
Oh yeah, we'd have made friends.
We'd
They'd have been taking our
Well,
picture for us.
Jess when we get nervous, Jess knows how to calm us down. And as soon as she done that, we'd all been friends.
So, what do you got? What else do you got, Jess?
For some reason, it didn't even register that I should be nervous while we were there.
It
Maybe I
registered
should have
to
been.
me.
Yeah. I didn't think about it.
I mean, I'm sitting there thinking, what if a car comes by? But we didn't see a car either direction that we were driving, so I wasn't terribly worried about that. And at the same time, I kept thinking, these people that live on this road are probably used to this, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
Because it's out there.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it's out there.
Right. Yeah, you're out there.
It is the boonies.
Yeah.
But
So
technically, it was only 35 miles from the hotel. But up in the mountains, it took forever.
right. But so it's kind of one of them things of. Let me ask you guys this. And this is kind of my train of thought on the way I think is, if you guys were going down Copperhead Road, knowing it was Copperhead Road, and you seen two vehicles pulled over on the side of the road, and a couple guys and a lady outside of the vehicle drinking out of a jar of moonshine, would you stop and say anything to them?
No.
No, I
Right.
just thought it was cool.
Right. We chances are people are going to go right on by. And then, because if you do, I mean, then you got this 6'5" fucker in the truck that ain't afraid to wrestle nobody. And you got Jim who get
Right.
out and raise all kinds of hell with you as
Yeah.
well.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so I mean, it wouldn't have turned out good for all the locals or anybody to stop and say anything. So
Right. So you was nervous.
No, I wasn't.
she
nervous.
didn't realize it.
I
She should have
didn't
been.
think about it.
Mm.
I just
You were
went,
just-
went with the flow, I guess.
There you go. There
That's
you
what
go.
you got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you're with us. I mean, we're gonna get you in some awkward
Because you know, in
situations.
all honesty, whenever you had said something about it that morning, you guys had said something to me at the hotel about it.
Mhm.
My brain immediately starts going. So I'm like, I don't know anybody that I know has never been on Copperhead Road.
Right.
Now let's take it a step farther.
Yeah.
Okay, so what can I do on Copperhead Road that nobody else has done? You know,
Yeah.
and that's us.
Yep.
You know,
That's
so-
us. That's kind of how we travel. You know. I mean,
We're always looking for the weird places where we go.
yeah. I'm always looking for something cool. I mean, if we go to a certain area for this, I want to see a few cool things extra. You know, and then you being there, you're gonna add even more to that. So it just works out.
Right.
You know, and now we've got a story that nobody around here has. We can trump everybody.
Yep, absolutely.
We drank moonshine on Copperhead Road. Real mountain-made moonshine on Copperhead Road.
Yeah, it came from Tennessee, as a matter of fact.
By
There we
God.
go.
My guy up here gets it from Tennessee.
There we go.
Nice.
We took it back home and drank it.
Yeah.
On
Probably not
Copperhead
too
Road.
far, yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that was just cool as hell. You know, I couldn't wait. I didn't want the race and all that to be over, but at the same time, once it was like,
What better way to finish up that weekend, you know?
Right.
I mean,
and I'm going to tell you, we had to drive back at least, it felt like 45 minutes to get cell service to type in
to find
home.
the map.
Yeah.
yeah, because we ended up going back around, and we
Uh-huh.
got somewhere. I don't know if it was northern Tennessee or southern Kentucky coming home, and we passed. It was when we went over out lake on the bridge. You know, that
Uh-huh.
big lake.
Uh-huh.
We took that bridge straight across, and so I mean it was hours after
The
we
one-lane bridge?
No, this is like
The big
halfway home.
Yeah.
This is like halfway home.
Okay.
And me and, Mom's sitting in the back, me and Bert's up front. And I told Bert, I said, I ought to get on the radio and said, we still going around that same fucking lake?
We said that too.
I thought about
yeah.
I said, I ought to tell him this is the same lake. They're going to get mad
Like,
as
you
hell.
won't believe this. This is the same lake. Yeah.
Yeah, but that lake down there, I don't remember the name of the lake, and I'm not even going to say it if I didn't
I
remember
do.
it, but
I remember it.
it went forever. It went
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. Like I said, beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful lake. A lot
Beautiful
of rentals on that lake. And that's one thing that Bert and I talked about was all the rentals around there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because that'd be pretty cool, like when you and I went that first year, we just slept in the truck next
Right.
to a dumpster. The following year, Jess goes and she's like, I ain't having that shit.
No,
No.
she's going to set us
So-
up in a hotel room
Right.
and food and all that
Exactly.
stuff.
So that's perfect.
We appreciate
But-
that.
Absolutely. But how cool would that be next year to do a Airbnb
At the Copperhead Road.
right there,
Right there by the lake.
like on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
and we fish, we drink, might go to a race, we might just stay there until the Saturday night race. Something like that.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, me too. Sounds good to
So, Copperhead Road didn't scare you at all?
me. No.
No?
Not having any cell service scared me on the way out trying to find their way home.
Yeah, just because I didn't want to drive around that area for like an hour in circles.
My
Yeah.
my first time on Copperhead Road, it was really cool, because it was daylight. We could see everything around it. We could see our environment. But I would like to drive down Copperhead Road in the middle of the night to see if you see any fires on the
Oh,
that's
mountainside.
good, yeah.
You know,
Well, it was cloudy that day, and I tell you, some of them clouds looked like they were just skimming over top of the mountain. Some of them clouds looked like they were coming up out of the mountain. So
they
I'm like,
did.
Yeah, they did.
This
You noticed
some
that too,
Mountain
huh?
Dew.
yeah, yeah.
You know.
Because I kept pointing it out. I said, that one right there don't look like it's a cloud. But
I just
you know,
assumed all of it was people making moonshine.
yeah. Anytime we go by a mountain and there's low-hanging clouds, she just assumes it's moonshine makers.
And it could be.
Could be, you never know.
A lot of clear streams around it.
Mm-hmm.
I do have to say, after what Bert saw at the restaurant,
Uh-oh.
and I still love the restaurant. I'm still thinking about it today, but
I don't want to eat in the bathroom.
no.
But,
Yeah. But that did become the running joke, at least in our car. Like when your mom had to go to the bathroom or something, you would say, "Mom's got to go take a dump in the urinal."
Yeah, she has to go drop a deuce in the urinal. And that's going to be
Even
the
if
running
she
joke
didn't have to go.
for years to come for Bert, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So when we was leaving the restaurant and you said something about, we was walking to the vehicles, and you said something about, oh, that'll piss Bert off. I said, wait. I said, you really want to see Bert pissed off? Watch his face when I tell him I'm the one that shit in the urinal.
I can just picture it now.
And Bert didn't hear none of this,
right?
You know, obviously. So when I got in the truck, he's like, "What are you laughing at?" And I told him what I'd said to you, and he just got to laughing about it. And I said, "But you know, really, that wouldn't be that bad of an idea because when you flush a urinal, the water runs down the back of the urinal.
Right.
So I mean, if you backed into a urinal and you took a shit and you reach back with your elbow and hit that handle." It's going to flush. I mean, it's going to be like a bidet running right down your back. Right. It's going to clean your crack. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you just hit that, pull your trowel up, and hit the road.
Good to go.
It's not a bad idea, but it's a really shitty thing to do, no pun intended, to the people that work there. You know what I mean? It's like...
Yeah, I felt bad for them.
I thought about that.
I'd probably quit my job if they said, hey, you need to go clean that
out.
Yeah, I think I'd just go ahead and clock out.
Yeah.
Come back tomorrow. And see if I still had a job, because that's just one thing that I don't think I will ever do in my life. I can say that with confidence, you know.
Well, I mean, somebody had to go really. Somebody either had a really fucked up sense of humor, and I appreciate that, or somebody really had to go, and that one stall was taken. You know what I'm saying? And when you got to choose between a sink and a urinal, he made the better decision.
Well, he made the better decision of the two, yes, but at the same time, if the stall is taken. And I don't know what this restroom looks like.
I don't either. So I've never been in it.
I'm assuming there's a urinal and then there's a stall. If the stall is taken and you decide this is the way it has to be, does it not cross your mind that whoever's in that stall might come out while you're mid-pinch?
I mean, if it's you know? I got to go now or I'm dropping this shit in my pants, I'm probably not going to care.
The girls' bathroom looks like our spare bathroom. Like even the decorations are about the same.
Really?
So I don't even know if there is a stall in that men's bathroom.
Yeah, we don't either. We never.
Yeah, I didn't go. We'd have to ask Bert.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
he's too traumatized.
We might have to get him on the next podcast to clear this up. You know?
This is definitely something that needs to be investigated. You know, because I mean, I've.
But the staff there's an awesome staff. Every year we've been.
Incredible.
I mean, and just a great staff. And
2 thumbs up from me.
Absolutely. And it's one of the things of like, it's a really, and again, no pun intended, that's a really shitty thing to do to the employees there. Yeah. You know, because somebody's got to clean that out.
Yeah. I think it was probably left the day before. Somebody race day come in and did that.
As bad as the smell traumatized Bert, it had to be in there for a minute. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
we got there pretty close to opening.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were
like
there
20
early.
minutes after they opened.
Yeah. And the waitress that we had kind of reminded me of her cousin. Just the whole, everything about this girl just looked exactly like her cousin. I even told her that while we were sitting there. Mm-hmm. And I thought she did an amazing job. And
I've never had a bad waitress there.
Nope.
I'm still thinking about those egg rolls. They were amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were what?
Yeah, avocado
egg
rolls.
Yep.
Yeah.
I tell you what, every time I go there, I'm gonna get the cheese sticks.
Oh yeah.
Every time.
They're good.
Mm-hmm.
You can't beat them.
I've always got the pizza, but I think I keep saying I think I'm going to venture out from the pizza, but that
it's
pizza
tough
just
to do when you're there.
The pizza just hits home with me, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I like to consider myself a pizza connoisseur,
right?
You know, so it just.
So what else? Is there anything that we're missing here? Any stories that we need to tell that we didn't tell yet?
Mm-hmm. Not that I can think of. I don't think you said enough of how bad you lost at cornhole, but mean,
Oh, we're gonna bring that back up again.
I worked hard
said
making all those shirts and koozies.
Hey, they served their
Stuff.
purpose. If
They
he wouldn't
did.
have lost, nobody got one.
That's true.
Right.
Exactly.
So
You did an amazing job. And
she did.
I told you that before we went, and I'll tell you that after we come back. You did an amazing job on all the shirts, all the koozies, and Dave did an amazing job of kicking my ass, and Sarah did an amazing job of kicking my ass.
And collecting those shirts and koozies.
Yes, yes.
They
I mean, they felt
eventually
bad
just
for
said,
us.
we don't need
We'll
any
just-
more shirts.
We'll just play for fun.
Right.
It wasn't really fun
And they
for
wore
me.
their shirts into the race.
They did. Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
hmm
That's awesome. Well, we appreciated Dave and Sarah, and we hope that we get to see them again at some point.
But I don't know if our reputation from the year before just succeeded us. Like, everybody's like, I ain't stopping to playing them guys. They kicked our ass last year.
I think that's what it was.
Probably.
But maybe next year, since they seen all of us get our asses handed to us, maybe they'll be like, hey, I'm going to stop and play these guys. They don't know how to play.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, these guys are easy.
Right.
Pushovers. Well, I'll be ready for next year, and I can't say that I'm going to beat Dave. I think if I didn't have the moonshine, I think I would have handled Sarah all right. I think I would have probably beat her, maybe.
Is that a challenge for next year?
It could be. But Dave was pretty good. I'm going to have to practice up a little bit before I get back playing Dave.
I think we need to get.
Up
I
there
think
pretty
next
quick.
year though, we need to get back to playing 2-on-2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we played a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
one-on-ones this year.
I'm good with that.
A lot of walking
That's-
involved.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of.
And somehow, I don't know, I ended up half naked. I don't know when that happened.
Well, somebody said Sarah was gonna win a shirt, and she might just win the shirt you got on. And I said, I don't ever. That's about the time I took my shirt off. I was like, I don't wear a shirt.
No.
I
It
play
could've been.
shirtless.
I don't know. All I remember is I was getting my butt kicked. And
Ain't nobody gonna take my Chase Briscoe shirt. This ain't gonna happen.
And Bert said something about I couldn't see the hole straight, you know, and I needed some more of my liquid diet that I had that day. So he helped me out with that. You know, he guided me in the right direction, and by God, I could not hit the hole anymore after that. Yeah. All I know is they said it's time to go racing. I had to put my clothes back
You had
on.
to put your clothes on. Yeah.
It was tough.
I was asked many times to remove my shirt, but
I seen you a couple of times
yeah.
about ready to do that.
I started to a few times.
Yeah.
I was hot.
Well, you'll have that.
Always makes a good day better.
That's true. Well, maybe next time.
Yeah.
You never know.
Maybe we sit on the front stretch next year. Martin Truex comes out.
I guarantee they'll come out then.
Yeah.
It probably will be his
She'll
retirement. It probably will be his retirement year.
She'll have a 1 and a 9.
Right.
On either side.
I mean, what better
Then
way
he's
to
gonna hit the wall.
What better way to send him off on his retirement year?
There you go. Hey, there you go, Truex. You know, look for that in the front stretch next year. It may happen. Who knows? So.
I did get dressed twice in the parking lot. I think,
What?
Yeah. Your mom, I broke your mom in quick. Like, as soon as we got there, I changed clothes right in the parking lot. So.
Well, I didn't have to do that. But it go all right? Everything okay?
Yeah.
Didn't have no issues?
I'm sure some people seen some things.
No
but
looky-loos?
it's whatever.
They keep walking?
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Keep on walking. Why'd you have to do it twice? That's what I want to know.
Once was tops and bottoms, so I was trying to hold a blanket while I got dressed.
Oh, okay.
And then later on, I wanted to change my shirt.
Okay. Well, why didn't you tell me? Hey, I need to hold the curtain for me or something.
Chad,
you know?
Bert,
Yeah.
Justin, come
Hey.
over here.
Come over here.
It's a big blanket. You know, I mean,
It was a big Bucky's blanket.
right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I mean, now you know you've got plenty of support.
Yeah.
So if you need it next time, just holler.
absolutely.
Yeah. But let's see. I think that might be all of the stories that we have. I think.
All I can remember.
Yeah. If we think of something else, we'll be on next
Oh
week.
yeah, we'll include it next week.
So, who you think's going to win Texas? Just wrap this up.
Ryan Blaney.
Within the next 10 minutes because I got to go take a shit in the urinal.
Okay.
So.
Well, for fantasy reasons, I'm hoping Ryan Blaney can do something. But I tell you, Toyota's going to be fast. It's just a matter of which one's going to take the win.
You know, I took the 45 of Reddick. Mm-hmm. He's gonna be a fast Toyota for at least 2 laps.
Are we talking fantasy or are we just talking Texas preview?
I'm talking fantasy.
Okay.
Now, that may have helped you along the way because HR Scotty took Reddick as well, which I turned mine in on Tuesday. He turned his in on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. I knew he was going to.
And when he sent me this pick, he said, I'm going to take Reddick at Texas. Mm-hmm. It's my second time using. I sent back an emoji that thinky face like this. You know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like he's thinking. And Scott said, why are you sending me a thinking face emoji? I said, I don't know. I just hit an emoji and sent it. Oh, okay. Well,
I wasn't going to tell him that you took him. Right. I was going to wait till after that.
I wasn't going to either because that's against the rules. Right. You know, I'm not one. I mean, everybody in the league and everybody listening to this podcast knows I've had a fucking shit run here in the last 6-7 weeks. So I wasn't going to be the one to put it out there. Hey, I took Reddick. You might want to think of something different because it's not how we roll.
Right.
So I let the dominoes fall the way they fall.
Mm-hmm. And he's the only person that took Reddick besides you.
Right. So
and no offense to you, but I kind of hope your bad luck. I mean, you've already said that Scott and Chad, you're the man. You've already said that.
Yeah.
So with that out of the way,
I have no chance of coming back. I mean, Hunter's complaining that he's in 5th spot and he's out of the chase, and I'm like, you need to shut the fuck up, dude. 'Cause,
he's only 11 spots out, or 11 points out.
Right, 11 points out. You know, I got a 20th this week. What am I going to do?
Oh
I'm out. You know, but
pages must have stuck together on that almanac. But yeah, I knew you took the 45, and I was looking at Scotty's drivers that he has available. And I told him, I said, I know who you're taking at Texas. And he didn't believe me. No, you don't. I said, I guarantee you I can predict who you're going to take at Texas. No,
you sent your prediction to me.
Mm-hmm. I sent your prediction to you just because if I told him, I didn't want him to change it.
Right.
Just out of spite, because HR will do that with me. You know, he'll change his pick just to prove me wrong. But I was able to guess it right. And little does he know, at this moment, I know who he's taking at Talladega too.
Yeah.
I've got him penciled in for the rest of the year. I know who he's taking and when he's taking it. And I don't know if I want to say this or not because I don't want bad karma coming my way. But I think I'm going to pass him somewhere around the Vegas, Roval area.
You don't think you'll pass him this week? You're only 4 points behind him.
Well, I mean, I think Reddick's going to do pretty good. I mean,
with
I'm not making
normally he would, but I picked him this week. That means he's going to finish 20th or worse.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for.
Because I've got 2 races in the 20s and 4 races in the 30s in the last 6 weeks.
And I've told Jess this, I don't know how many weeks ago I said this, but I want you to be my witness here, that I told her a few weeks ago, I said, you know, I'm not going to be talking no trash to HR. I'm going to talk a little bit because we have to. I'm not going to go over the top like I normally would talking trash to HR just because every time I do, I get right there. And we were tied just a few weeks ago.
And he pulls away.
And then he pulls away. And I think that, in my mind, that is karma for talking trash to him. He keeps getting that lead. So I'm not talking trash until after it's over.
How can that be true if he talks trash to you too?
Karma hasn't bit him.
Well, it did with
that's
the Satterfield
my end of the
thing.
year goal is for karma to bite who it needs to bite in this situation.
Well, I didn't do shit. I didn't do shit. You know,
no, you haven't talked no shit. You just said
no shit to
luck.
Nobody. I've got a good run of good luck coming. I should have.
Yeah, you should have. And
so,
I'm hoping it waits till Talladega.
I need it now. I need it now. If I'm going to even be close, I don't know if I can get back up there.
You got to hit a winner every week.
Right. And everybody else has to.
You got to go from worst to first in about 7 weeks. Right. It's going to be tough to do.
It will. But
I mean, you're 106 points out from the lead.
Right.
That's
if
tough.
anybody can do it, though.
That's tough. But what I was thinking, I took Blaney because I'm thinking, okay, HR Scotty, he's going to take Reddick. I already knew that. So I'm going to go a different route. And I thought, when I think of Texas, I don't know why.
He won the All-Star race there.
I think that's why I think of it. Because he won that All-Star race. In a year he couldn't win shit, he won the All-Star race.
And he isn't a Ford.
I said, I'm going to take Ryan Blaney. You know, because he's
lot of
still in the
people did.
playoffs.
A lot of people took Blaney.
Well, and that's what really aggravates me, because I thought I was going out on a limb by picking Blaney, and I was going to be doing something that nobody else was going to be doing. I might be able to gain a few spots.
I expected more Reddicks than
I
Blaney's.
did too.
You know.
I really did too.
Well, I'm all by myself up there.
Who'd you take?
Kozlowski.
Yeah. I mean, short track.
Yeah.
You know, mile and a half track. I mean, RFK has been nothing to shy away from him.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you who I'm taking at Talladega.
I'll go ahead and tell you who I'm taking too.
Because I'm not scared of the consequences. I'm taking Brad Keselowski
So
at
am I.
Talladega.
I've had it
Oh,
penciled in.
shit.
I've had it
So
penciled.
I'm a week short.
Well, I'm going to see what you do with Reddick here.
If my luck turns this week.
If your luck is still
Well,
bad.
I showed you my list that night that I come over
Uh-huh.
and watched the Darlington race with you guys. I think I showed you that list. I already had all my Chase drivers penciled in, and I've got Brad penciled in. Had him penciled in there at Talladega. I mean, he's got 6 wins there, and he's strong this year.
Yeah. And I've already burned Busher, so I'm taking Brad K at Talladega. Just off the top of my head, I don't know if Scotty still has Brad K available. I don't think he does, because that's not who I have him penciled in for at Talladega.
Yeah, I think he's burning.
Yeah.
But
And I won't say who I think he's picking now, because he'll change it.
Yeah. So we got Talladega, and then we got the Charlotte Roval, which on the Charlotte Roval they have announced this is the first road course of the year that they're bringing the stage breaks back in.
What do you think about that?
I mean, I'm glad they are. It adds a little bit more excitement to it, but to me it should have been announced at the beginning of the year.
Yes.
This should be one of the things that we're going to change the rules on the fly.
Right.
I feel like they're just doing it for the ratings.
Yeah.
You know, because they did make that decision on the fly. So it is what it is, and you know, NASCAR's not going to be like, holy shit, you know, Riding the Wall. Them guys on Riding the Wall podcast said this shit don't fly. We better change it again. You know, that don't happen yet.
Not yet, but it will.
Right. So
It will.
I don't agree with the way it was done, but it doesn't bother me that they're bringing them back.
I'm the same. I think, you know, I don't think they should have changed the rules mid-season to say we're not going to be doing stage breaks to begin with.
Because let's look at it from this point of view. If we'd had stage breaks at Indianapolis, Michael McDowell wouldn't have won that race.
That's true.
You know, I'm glad he did.
Yeah.
Because Chase Elliott would have won that race if we had stage breaks.
Oh, yeah. I think so. I don't like the fact of changing the rules midway, you know. We changed the rules once mid-season to say we're doing away with it. And it's not to say that those road courses were boring, but
it brought the best out in the drivers.
Yes, the talent and the best car that day won.
Right.
But at the same time,
I think they seen a ratings dip with the road courses, and they're trying to fix it.
Yeah.
I mean, for them to change it between the last road course race and now, that can be the only thing that it was. Right.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be for ratings. And I'm fine with that. If that's how you want to go, let's do that. But let's do it all year.
Right.
It needs to be the same, one way or the other, all year long. Make the rule, stick with it through the year. If it needs to be changed, we'll change it for next year. You know, that's just the way I feel about it.
Okay.
I don't like that changing stuff mid-season. You know. So. But yeah, I think Texas is going to be interesting. I think the Toyota's going to be fast. Watch out for Reddick.
Come on, Reddick. Turn my shit around.
I think Kyle Busch needs to be doing something if he wants to advance to the next 4.
I think RFK. You got to watch for him though.
Watch out
Brad
for
and
RFK.
Busher.
Yeah. Watch out for Larson. I mean,
Yeah, anywhere.
What's he finished? He won Darlington. He finished 4th at where was we? Second race.
Kansas.
He finished 4th at Kansas, and then he finished 2nd at Bristol. Dude's on a roll.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's hot.
Dude's gonna win the championship this year. If he keeps going like he's going, it's gonna be tough to stop him.
I'd like to see RFK win it.
Yeah. Well, you made a big thing about Ford winning 5 of the 10 in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You got some work to do there.
Yeah.
You got 7 races. You need 5 Ford wins.
I got a lot of work to do this year. Period. So
yeah,
let's make it a challenge.
It's gonna be interesting. I think this is the race right here that's going to decide. Well, I don't know. It's not going to be the one that decides it because
I think it'll be Talladega.
Well, this is the race where the drivers they control their own destiny.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
because
Talladega is throw a dart at the wall.
As far as drivers controlling their own destiny in the stage points and making it to the next round, this right here is where they need to do it.
Right.
You know, so Talladega is going to be the one that it's out of their hands completely, but it's going to do the most for Fantasy League.
Oh yeah, it's going to totally shake some stuff up, and that's the fun part of it.
So that's about all I got.
You got anything, Mama?
No, I'm good.
You've told all your stories that you can tell.
Yeah.
Well, anytime you want to tell some more stories, you just come on in here and start telling some stories on us.
Okay.
We'll validate or we'll make our case. You know.
Sounds good.
You need to get ready for Talladega because I'm pretty sure that's probably going to be in the mix next year. So I don't know if you'll.
I'll be sleeping in the RV while you're cornholing.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're sleeping in the RV, you're not going to find us when you come out of the RV. Right. It's hard telling where we're going to be, but...
Hey, Chad, why you and Justin got them helium balloons tied to your belt loop so Jess can find us sometime tonight? 20-foot...
Pick them up.
20-foot lead coming off of
We're going to have tattoos by who knows who. You know, we're going to have all kinds of stuff going on. We're going to be passed down a ditch somewhere, but that's our storytelling for Bristol. We'll catch you next week after Texas. I'm sure it's going to be crazy. Hopefully Ryan Blaney can do something. I need that. But that'll do it for this week. If you're going to check out the races anywhere, you know, take somebody new. Always good to get a good new face at the races, so we can pass it on to the next generation. So that's about all we got for this week, and we'll talk to you next week.
Right in the face.